Okay. Hello and welcome back to the Druidic Stormcloud channel. We'll be playing Final Fantasy XIV here in just a moment. With the new timing and new day for this particular game, I hope that any future mandatory parties will be well, that they won't be the issue of continuously not there. I was a little late, and I admit that. I apologize. It was a tricky situation to get things going today for some reason. In addition, I was expecting a family member of mine to come by and mow my yard well before this, so that led to a slight loss of the track of time. But other than that, everything has gone fairly well, all things considered. And I hope that they continue to do so. Now then, without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in and get this going. I've been leveling up some of the other classes. So title and everything. You can tell that I'm not used to starting with so many issues, and I seriously apologize for that. All that is updated and so what we're going to do first is we're going to head over here and talk to this guy. We're going to be giving these guys a fair amount of quite a bit. Should probably change one of those white mages' jobs. Go ahead and go to North Shroud because Corthus is not that far away. I'll admit I was also testing some other games that are currently on Game Pass that I'm considering for future games on stream. Now then, randomize Dominion. We have this guy, the Spriggan, as they call them. Okay. No, not that way. Lady Iceheart has grown bold indeed. To think she would risk direct action against the city. Come, let us do as we were bid, and return to Camp Dragonhead. The Lord will know where Sir Emmerich means to receive us. It is reassuring indeed to behold the countenance of a friend when one's homeland teeters on the very brink of disaster. Though a single misstep could send us plunging into the abyss, your heroic presence stokes the flames of courage within my heart. Dragonhead to listen to my prattling. The Lord Commander has arrived, and would treat you with any necessary. With you in the necessary. Greetings, madam. Shall I show you inside? I thank you for coming with such haste, and apologize for my absence. Suffice it to say, the Iceheart and her heretics have much to answer for. Yes, but we are recently returned from the gates of judgment ourselves. We are but recently returned from the gates of judgment ourselves. Given the circumstances, we quite understand if you would prefer to postpone our appointed audience. On the contrary, Master Elfnod, I think it more important than ever that this meeting take place. Rest assured, I shall return to my post on Ishgard's walls the moment our business is concluded. Before we move on to the subject of reinforcements, however, I would introduce you to a close friend and stalwart ally, Estinolin. This is our first introduction to a Dark Knight. May I present you Ishgard's Azure Dragoon? No, he's a Dragoon? Okay. An impressive title, though I confess I know precious little of the Order of Dragoons. They are formidable warriors all, yet even among such masters of the lands, Esthine is without equal. He, out of all the warriors of Ishgard, was chosen to wield the power of dragons, and may thus contend with any Dravian. You flatter me much, Lord Commander. So, you're the adventurer of whom they spoke. I see now why my blood fares sing in anticipation of this meeting. Well, now that we have all been introduced, let us proceed to the matter at hand. I would share with you what we have learned of Iceheart's design, as confessed by the heretics taken captive after the assault on the gates. It would seem that Lady Iceheart and the Dravians share a common goal, the reclamation of Nidhogg's stolen eye. Nidhogg, one of the 7 great worms. His name features prominently in your nation's history, though once defeated by the hero. The beast is said to have terrorized Korthus since Ishgard's founding. Aye, many are the scars our walls bear from Nidhogg's relentless efforts to raise the city. The trophy Haldrath plucked from the beasts, or bested worm skull, now simply known as the Eye, is a treasured relic of Ishgard, and one possessed of untold power. Should it ever be returned to Nidhogg, the dread creature would be restored to the height of its strength. And then no wall or ward we could erect would be stout enough to deny him. My vengeful son hath waged war against Ishgard for 1,000 years. No mortal mind could comprehend the depths of his rancor. The Eye itself is secreted deep within the vault. It is kept under heavy guard, surrounded at all times by men and women who have proven their loyalty to the Holy See. But those stout walls and sharp blades may suffice to discourage heretics. The dragons are another matter. There are individuals within the Dravian horde whom an entire company of knights would labor to repel, to say nothing of Nidhogg himself. Nor does age rob them of their strength. Through the endless march of years, the dragons endure, patient, calculating, inexorable. We must understand that these creatures do not share our perception of time. And that is especially true of the great worms, they who spend centuries in slumber, only to wake and resume their campaign as if mere hours had passed. It has been years since Nidhogg last darkened our skies. 20 years for him to gather his strength and for us to bolster our defenses. And now, just as he seems primed to return, the heretics strike at the gate. You believe that Lady Iceheart is in league with the creature, then? Sorry, I have a bout of yawning here. Of that, we cannot be certain. Though we know the heretics covet the Eye, we have been unable to determine their plans for it. Such questions aside, we must needs address the ragged hole their mistress has seen fit to rend in Ishgard's protections. 'Tis a weakness the Dravians are not like to leave untested. So it would seem that described your plight in admirable detail, Lord Commander, yet I cannot help but wonder at your candor. Why share such sensitive information with us? I shall speak plain. Ishgard has need of allies, and I would have you bolster our front lines in readiness for the coming battle against the dragons. This much I expected. Unlike our arrangements concerning the Keeper of the Lake, however, only you stand to benefit from our assistance in this matter. I fail to see why we should intervene in a conflict which concerns only Ishgard and Dravia. When the Eorzean Alliance requested Ishgard's assistance during Operation Archon, you refused us. Does it not seem grossly unjust to demand that we now risk our lives in your private war? I make no attempt to defend my country's conduct. I only ask you consider what would follow were Ishgard to fall. Having raised Star City to the ground, the Horde would have little cause to linger, and most would return to their lairs in Dravia. Soon thereafter, the ruins of Corthus would be buried in snow, and the land would become the sole providence of beasts and beastmen. Until the Garlean's arrival, that is. For you may be certain that the Empire would not hesitate to claim Corthus. They would not even have to draw steel. An Imperial province sharing a border with Mordona. 7 hells. Ahem. Very well. We will assist you in repelling the dragons. The roar of a great worm may have shaken the firmament, but we of Eorzea will not abandon our Ishgardian brothers to face the oncoming horde alone. Nor did I ever think you would. Now, upon the matter of the roar. Allow me, Sir Imric. Through the power of the Eye, I have become the vessel of Nidhogg's strength. His essence has stolen into my very blood. Fear not, I am in full control of my faculties, I assure you, and the Eye itself is of no relevance to this tale. It is not essential that I bear it with me wheresoever I go. Its lingering influence does, however, allow me to hear Nidhogg's voice. Then the worm who roared was Nidhogg. Aye. He means to hurl his horde against Danaphen's collar and shatter the remaining wards that protect the city. There can be no doubt. The worm has summoned his minions to war. Oh dear. Though the circumstances are far from ideal, this desperate endeavor will at least provide us an opportunity to bring the sister state of Let me try that again. Though the circumstances are far from ideal, this desperate endeavor will at least provide us an opportunity to bring the sister states of Eorzea together in common cause. Sir Imric was more ruthless in his negotiations than I had anticipated. I suppose one must give no quarter when one's home is at stake. But did you see the look on his face when he formally requested our assistance? Though the Lord Commander has long campaigned for Ishgard to open its gates to outsiders, I suspect this softening of the Holy See's attitude towards foreign cooperation comes as something of a bittersweet victory. The days ahead promise to be interesting indeed. If we are to aid the Ishgardians in this war of theirs, preparations will have to be made, and soon. Before proceeding, however, we must needs return to the Rising Stones and make a report to the incident. Okay, now we fly back to Mordona, and we will have another cutscene to deal with. the right path?
Alphino, it is good to see you. Tell me, what have you learned?
Good, this one's voiced.
Pray summon the others. Everyone must hear my report.
So this was all but a taste of what's to come.
Indeed. The main host advances upon Ishgard as we speak.
Whose vaunted defenses have been nullified.
Shorn of its wards, the city will bear the full force of Nidhogg's fury.
All those people.
Alphino is right. The Dravanians cannot be allowed to prevail. If Ishgard falls, all of Eorzea will suffer the consequences.
Then you agree that we have no choice but to intervene. For the good of the realm, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn and the Crystal Braves must join the defense of Ishgard.
Let there be no ambiguity about what has been proposed. We would be directly intervening in the war. But if all here believe the cause to be just, then to war we shall go. The path we now embark upon is perilous, but I pray you will walk with us to the end.
Of course we will. That was the intention from the beginning, wasn't it? I'm going to be muting my mic for a bit while I go through the cutscene, because I'm also getting some water.
For those we have lost, for those we can yet save.
Then it is settled. I shall inform the Council of our intentions and request that they contribute their own forces to the defense of Ishgard.
There we go. And like Thancred said, this was not something we could avoid, but this is also not exactly what the Crystal Braves signed up for. Wonder how this is going to play out. Here we go. I have bid the Archons travel to their assigned nations. Should the members of the Alliance agree to pledge Grand Company soldiers to Ishgard's cause, our comrades will be on hand to act as intermediaries for the duration of the conflict. The small matter of persuading the Alliance leaders to grant such support, I leave to Elfinod. For you, my friend, a different task awaits. I would have you reach out to your fellow adventurers and gather what allies you may for the coming siege. I would also have you consider the matter of our own security. Our evidence toll is but a short flight from the snowfields of Korthus. It is not unimaginable that the fighting may spill across the border. This is also true. Sorry. My voice is a bit scratchy right now, not sure why. Pray, brief Sliferborn on the brewing conflict and discuss potential contingencies. For the frontier settlers must be prepared for aught that might wing its way over our walls. I hope that such precautions prove unnecessary. Before you leave, might I suggest you have Tataru accompany you? She has a talent for administration and firm grasp on the principal challenges that we may encounter. Rather close to Korthus, aren't we? We'd best see to our own defenses and take stock of our supplies. Oh, and we'll also need to have beds and bandages laid out just in case. A good receptionist is ready for any eventuality. Let's go, Kiara. I've 101 things to discuss with Sliferborn. I appreciate the warning. If war is coming to Korthus, then Revenant's toll must be made ready. I'll increase the number of patrols. I'll also see about finding room for armor as well. Temporary housing for victims of the conflict, as well as temporary housing. Ishgard has done well by us in the past, and I would return the favor. But as for rounding up volunteers for the fighting itself, I'm afraid I must disappoint you. I will not send any of my fellow guild members to die on Ishgardian soil. And I'm certain headquarters will say the same. There will be no official Adventurers Guild presence at this siege. That said, each individual is, of course, free to do as he or she will. more capable colleagues on your behalf. You'll try your luck here in Revenant's Toll. I dare say there are a few stout souls that about town who will lend you your call to arms. Let's get started, shall we? We have a count to rouse. Spare me your talk of glory and fame. I'm not in the habit of volunteering for lost causes. I've survived this long by trusting my instincts. My instincts tell me to stay well away from Ishgard. Ishgard sounds like she's in a right mess, but that ain't what I wanted to talk to you about. I need you to cast your mind back to that scuffle with the Empire out by the processing plant. A lad from Little Alamigo by the name of Wilfried was there with the Fourth that day, and I want to know if you seen him since. Have you? No, I haven't. God damn it. I feared as much. No one's bloody seen him. It's like the ground opened up and swallowed him all. And that ain't all. Around the time Winfried stopped turning up for duty, then black market weapons went missing from our vault in Ul'dah. So, now, of course, half the braves suspect the lad of making off with the goods. Folk like to believe our company's a disciplined fighting force, but as you and me both know, it's no more than a motley collection of mercenaries, adventurers, and Grand Company volunteers. The only thing that binds us together is some vague oath about fighting for the freedom of all. That and the steady pay. Now, compared to most others in its crew, Winfried's a fresh fate, or just a novice. A bleeding whelp among wolves. But the boy's got passion. When we talked about being a guardian of Eorzea, he bloody well meant it. A lad like him wouldn't rob us blind and bugger off like that. He ain't the type. And this is just between you and me, mind. There's the fact that the lad wanted to tell me about something strange he'd noticed in the ledgers. Something about the Braves' numbers not adding up. There's a villain at the end of this trail I've stumbled on, and I'll bet me good eye it ain't young Wilfrid. Any road, you've got a war to wage. So I'll let you get on. I just thought someone should know. I'll be seeing you, Kiara. Don't die on me! These are people we know through our adventure. Wilfried nearly got his entire friend group tempered, and they ended up mostly dead because of it. That guy used to be part of the Company of Heroes. Adventurous frontier hand. So, Ishgard seeks sell swords to bolster its ranks, eh? Though I'm not sure I like the sound of this siege, those nobles will surely be generous with the rewards. But I've pledged myself to guard Revenant's Toll. Modest work though it is, I'm loath to break the terms of my contract. What to do. I mean, that's also fair. Angular adventure. Volunteer my services in the defense of Ishgard? I think not. Dragons claim the lives of every one of my brothers. I do not mean to offer them mine. It was to escape such a fate that I took up the mantle of adventurer in the first place. I'd sooner die in the pursuit of fortune than huddled behind an icy wall. Personal grievances, fair enough. Sell me blade to the Ishgardians? Well, them dragons are a fearsome lot, but I'd say me fair share if the coin was good. I've worked for one of them knights before, you know. Watched me like a bloody hawk, he did. Still, I'd put up with worse than that for a heavy purse. Okay, so we got one for sure, one torn, and two definite no's. Yes, I could have jumped from there or taken my mount, but it just doesn't seem like the time to do so. There you are, Kira. Did you slay these hearts? One or two, eh? Well, add it to mine, that makes 3 or 4. Not including Slateborn's friends. We won't have the largest company in the army. I'd say 1 Revenant's 12 veterans, worth a dozen, and plenty of knights at least. Oh, I've been so caught up with recruiting that I almost forgot. There's been word from Alphenod. Apparently the Alliance need Ishgard meeting in the dock to discuss Ishgard's plight. And they've requested your presence as usual. Anyway, you'd best make your way to the dock, or we'll be late. Alphenod said that you would meet you on the Royal Promenade. away from one moment it was hitting a wall. Okay. Let's talk to Elfinod now. Who are you? Oh, you're another player, okay. That makes sense. My apologies for calling you away from your tasks. I had hoped to proceed with these negotiations, one leader at a time, but it seems my urgent request for an audience has prompted a gathering of the council. Needless to say, I have felt obliged to attend. The leaders of the Alliance have already are already seated within. Let us join them, shall we?
We are well aware of Ishgard's dilemma, and we agree with your assessment.
Then I trust there are no objections to the Crystal Braves' intervention.
Okay, this is going good.
Da has none.
Gridania does not object.
The Crystal Braves are yours to command, Alphino. Do what you will. We shall pray for your success.
It was my hope that you would offer more substantial aid than prayer. I know it is within your means.
Do not presume that you have knowledge of our every concern. The Garleans and the Beast Tribes are but two of many. We are not in a position to contribute greatly to the defense of Ishgard, not when our own homes are still under siege.
We dare not leave our interests in Cartano undefended as well. Telegi Adalegi and his ilk would seize control of the territories in our absence.
The enemy is at their gates, and you would cower behind yours?
No one is cowering, boy. We will offer what support we can.
Aye, support. A handful of men and no more.
Would that we could commit more than a token force to this cause. Yet there are others to whom you might turn. The free companies ever want for work.
Ah, yes. The free companies. They're not like to turn you down.
I beg your pardon? You would entrust the survival of Ishgard to sell swords? Crises like these are the very reason why this alliance was formed. It is our duty to aid our fellow man.
My duty is to my country and my people. If you expect us to place the welfare of a foreign power above our own, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Lest you doubt, Limsa comes first, then the Alliance, and finally, circumstances permitting, Ishgard and the rest. If you cannot understand so simple a concept, then you have no place at this table.
Forgive me, Admiral. I was careless in my choice of words.
I suggest you assemble a party of elite adventurers, assuming you haven't already. Your fellows served us well during Operation Archon. I dare say they will do so again. If I may, Your Grace, I wish to propose a redistribution of forces. If we entrust the security of Ul'dah to the Brass Blades for a time, we can dispatch a larger force to Ishgard. Your Grace?
Yes. Yes, of course. Do what you will.
Is Her Grace not feeling well?
To the best of my knowledge, Her Grace is in perfect health.
I see. Carry on.
Once again, I owe you an apology. It seems you have been conscripted into leading a red contingent of adventurers on yet another mission of immeasurable danger. But I fear we have been left with little alternative. We cannot well abandon Lord and Sir Emmerich to their fate. We must abide by the Council's decision, as short-sighted as it is, and strive to fulfill our roles as Eorzea's guardians. Captain Ilbert, what news? The assault has begun? We have but this moment concluded our audience with the Alliance leaders. Move our forces into position. Your unit will join House Durandray during the year at the Steel Vigil. Man the cannons alongside the knights within the Dravian horde ere they descend upon Ishgard. I will join you as soon as I am able. Kiara, I would have you and your adventurer allies bolster the defenses at the Steps of Faith. Report to Sir Marsley at the Gates of Judgment, and he will direct you to where you are needed most. May the gods grant you mercy. Captain of the Sellsword contingent, then welcome. There's no shortage of blade work to be done. As we speak, Dravian's skirmishing parties are harrying positions across the Central Islands. I've assigned the Crystal Braves and your fellow adventurers to contain these scattered attacks, and for the present, I would have you join them. This is, of course, merely a precursor to the assault on Ishgard proper. The wily serpents seek to divide and confuse our forces, but we will not be so easily drawn from our out of position. Temple Knights will remain on the steps of faith and continue our preparations. When the Horde arrives in full force, they shall face a wall of Ishgardian steel. Report back to me once their advanced skirmishers are slain. they've dealt with. Now we have to go and go to Providence Point. Okay. Okay. Chicken versus dragon. Alright, let's go ahead and turn in this quest. What news, adventurer? The reinforcements? Decimated, you say? Trevian devils. Damn their scaly hides. Hold fast to your grief and fury, my lady. We will avenge the deaths of your fellows in the battles to come. Alright, we're going to be able to get a quick arm or quick tongue. We're going to go with quick tongue. Ere you commit yourself to the siege, you should know what it is you are tasked with defending. Beyond the gates of judgment lie the steps of faith. The great bridge of stone leads directly to the city of Ishgard. More than simply a means to cross the sea of clouds, the bridge serves as a foundation for the arcane wards that form the barrier around Danafin's color. Alas, in the stone barriers of the outermost layer, thrice stamped witch ice heart stripped the bridge of its protection, and thus are the dragons now able to land unhindered upon the steps of faith. Should the Drevians succeed in destroying the remainder of the wards, the devils will be free to swarm within the city itself. Needless to say, we cannot suffer that to happen. It shall be our task as defenders to prevent any harm from coming to those parts of the bridge wherein the wards are sealed. 3 yet remain, and we have dispatched our forces accordingly. I would ask you and your comrades to accompany our defenders to the outermost ward. I should hope that it includes us as well, yes? Thancred! Archons! Scions of the Seventh Dawn! We could not stand idly by while the hordes threaten the good people of Ishgard. Indeed, to do otherwise would go against all that Master Louis Waz has taught us. As for where we may be of most assistance, I think it prudent to be divided into 2 groups. Ida and I will join the rear guard. Right. If the dragons reach us, we'll be sure to give them what for. Thank you. All of you. Pray, speak with me again when your preparations are complete. And together, we shall stand against the Horde. I trust you are ready then? Good. Come, let us make for the battlefield. Level sync. We're in for a real amount of trouble.
me!
alongside you now. We're going to be felling this thing. dragons! They're withdrawing! Victory is ours! One of Nidhogg's greatest champions, slain. The Horde will not soon recover from this blow. What of you, Nidhogg? Why did you not join your minions to make of this battle a slaughter? Have you grown so fond of the stench of your lair? Mayhap you prefer to have your allies fight your battles for you. You have a girl to your bidding now, do you not? No matter. I shall slay this Iceheart and all the rest. But I yearn to spill the blood of a great worm, Nidhogg, and only your death will sate my lance. Kiara, the dragons are routed. Lest you wonder, the fighting at this field vigil was also fierce. But the Crystal Braves were not found wanting. Commander Levier, Kiara, I trust your word. True to your word, you arrived to aid us in our hour of need. On behalf of the Holy See and the people of Ishgard, I offer you my humble thanks. Though I would stay and lavish you with well-deserved praise, I fear I must away to oversee the aftermath of the siege. Not all the dragons are fled, and there are yet wounded to be carried from the field. Pray, let us meet anon, that I might express my thanks with proper courtesy. We have indeed achieved a victory of singular importance. With the Drelian Horde thus weakened and scattered, the threat to Ishgard has been greatly diminished. And mayhap equally significant, Lucy has now recognized the necessity of cooperation with foreign powers. Long have they barred their gates against the outside world, but I am confident that the day will soon come when Ishgard proclaims itself a member of the Eorzean Alliance once more. We have sacrificed in our struggle against dragons and primordials. Or much have we sacrificed in our struggles against dragons and primordials. The Ascians and the Empire. But, step by unfaltering step, we march ever nearer our goal. And, as ever, the journey is made with you at the bow. The victory you have won this day gives us greater hope than for the morrow. It is a hope that shall sustain us in the days to come, and bear us past the many evils that yet seek to hinder our progress. Yes, we have done well this... Yes, we have done well, my friend. And I, for one, would take a moment to savor Duty, however, allow me little time for levity. I must accompany the Captain Elbart back to Ul'dah, reassign those braves whose squads suffered heavy losses. You, my friend, have earned rest at the Rising Stones. Pray, return to Revlin's Tomb and share your tale with Nymphalia in person. We will see to informing the other nations of what took place here. And do be sure to give our regards to Nymphalia. Back to Mordona. Okay, Mordona. Land. Kiara, welcome back. Alphinaud sent word of the siege, and, of course, of the role you played in ending it. Your deeds never cease to amaze me, Kiara. Thank you. Complete, quick tongue. And another quest. You must be wary, Kiara, and now may very well be your only chance to... Nope. Incident! A messenger from Ul'dah arrived with a missive for you. The Royal Seal. Curious indeed. Ah, an invitation. On behalf of the Council of Eorzea of the Eorzean Alliance, Her Royal Majesty Nanama Nama invites the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to attend a feast at the Royal Palace of Ul'dah in honor of Ishgard's recent victory. It would seem we are to be recognized for our part in lifting the siege. You for your valiant efforts as commander of the adventurers contingent, and the Archons for their earnest attempts to rouse the city-states. Truly, I find it strange that the Alliance leaders should think themselves deserving of a place at such a celebration. All three refuse to deploy their standing armies, preferring to send hastily assembled companies of sellswords, many of whom perished ere the siege began. And are they truly so brazen as to seek to share in the glory of your triumph? But mayhap they simply seek a pretext to meet with the Ishgardians, while the mood is yet jubilant. Such an occasion would present a fine opportunity to press for Ishgard's return to the Eorzean Alliance. We have scarce had time to mourn Mira and Brea, and I, for one, am in no mood to carouse. But I suppose we must put away our grief for the good of the realm. Though you were promised rest, I fear I must insist that you also attend. It would be a strange celebration indeed if the victorious hero were not present. Pray, content yourself with the thought that such an occasion may bring about momentous change, and this without recourse to bloodshed. Tataru, if you would do me the favor of contacting the rest of the Scions? Of course, Incident. And please, let me know if there's anything else I can do. Curious. I've never known Tataru to sigh at such requests. Could aught be amiss? Something has to be wrong with Tataru. Okay, she's not at her desk. Tataru is conspicuous by her absence. Tataru, I believe she just stepped outside. Now that I think about it, she did seem rather preoccupied. you. I didn't mean to worry anyone. It's nothing, really. Well, it's not nothing exactly, but it feels like nothing compared to the towering trials you and others face every day. And that's why I should probably talk to Ophelia before things get any worse. You already know what to say here. I'm glad I had this little chat. Ida, our reaction's the same. Yes, Tataru, you have my undivided attention. I've been hesitating to broach the subject, what with all the recent excitement, but Kiara made me realize there's no time like the present, and time is what I'm here to ask you for. I'm not sure I understand. If you wish to be excused from your duties for a time, then you certainly have earned the rest. But I suspect that lying abed is far from your interest. You know me too well, Incident. There is, in fact, something I've been wanting to try my hand at. Along with the Adventurers and the Crystal Braves and Scions along with the Scions are constantly being thrown into dangerous battles and deadly predicaments. Every Hoary Boulder and Colonet have been even Hoary Boulder and Colonet have been promoted from guard duty to fill our need for competent warriors. And so it seems only right that I too should acquire the power to defend myself and others. More importantly, when I return, I shall be both your receptionist and your bodyguard. That is a determined look. Whoa, hey! This is the first time I've almost been knocked over to the ground by a little fill. I've never seen Miss Tataru so determined. Has aught befell that which I might help? Incident? Not at present, thank you. Was there something you would ask of me? Oh, yes. Pray, excuse my distraction. An adventurer who was to join us for escort duty was injured while out on patrol. And our fear we cannot properly defend the scholars entrusted to our protection without the aid of at least one more guard. And therefore, I humbly request that another adventurer of the capable kind, of course, be assigned to our party. Very well. I shall consider the potential candidates and provide you with a replacement as soon as I am able. Many thanks, Incident. I take my leave of you. Well, Tatu had some rather interesting character development there, didn't she? Oh boy, we have 2 quests here. The power to defend oneself? Tataru has ever been full of surprises. Now that I think on it, I do recall Rangier mentioning that she had developed an interest in Arcanemia. Mayhap she hopes to gain admittance into the Arcanist Guild in Limsa Lamosa. Yes, that will be the way of it. Would you be so kind as to journey to the guild and see to it that all is well? It is doubtless unwarranted, but surely I am not alone in my concern for her safety. I wonder, do you perchance recall the commitment I made to furnish Ori Boulder with a capable adventurer? Well, I am sorry to say I have as yet been unable to do so. Now, I realize that you are rather more than a capable adventurer, and that escort duty is frankly beneath a woman of your talents, but I have no one else to turn to at present. Might you be willing to forego rest and assist us in this matter? Generous no fault. Thank you, Kiara. Now, it seems only fair that I explain the import of the task in question. For some time, our order has employed a handful of scholars to travel around Eorzea, taking etheric readings that we might better understand the impact of primal summonings. Naturally, it behooves us to ensure our employees' safety, and so we ask the adventurers in our service to serve as escorts. Ori Boulder and Colnet were to act as 2 such escorts, as was a 3rd adventurer. Alas, due to injury, said adventurer is not presently fit for duty, hence my need to impose upon your goodwill. You are truly a pillar of strength, Kiara. Ori Boulder will share with you the details of your task. He should be waiting for you outside. Be safe. Ah, Kiara! Is it true that you agreed to lend us a hand? Huzzah! What did I tell you, Colonet? Our misfortune has become a blessing, an opportunity to serve alongside the warrior of light herself. Need I remind you that we have 3 scholars to escort, each of whom will take a different route. True, true, but our mission is the same. Separated by bonds we may be, but in spirit we shall be together. If such thoughts bring you joy, you are welcome to think them. 2 more practical concerns, Kiara. We would have you attend to the scholar charged with surveying the South Shroud. He is waiting at Camp Tranquil as we speak. All you need do is follow the man. He will determine the most appropriate locations and take his readings. In spirit, Kiara, in spirit we shall be together every step of the way. South Shroud. First, South Shroud, then Limsa Limosa. We'll complete both, and then we will head back to Mordona, the Rising Stones, and turn them in. Center on that. At last, the Scion's woman stains graceful with her presence. Pity that we have no time for pleasantries. Our first destination is Issamhar. Come, we're already late enough as it is. Yes, this location should suffice. Once I finish calibrating my instruments, I will require but a moment to take the necessary measurements. I trust I need not explain that my work can suffer from no interruptions. Then please, stand at an appropriate distance and keep watch for wild beasts. I see we have both completed our respective tasks. That has had a satisfactory outcome. Though, if I could make one suggestion, you might try to dispatch your foes more quietly in the future. I do not like to pick fault, but I really must be allowed to concentrate. Now then, Snake Malt awaits, shall we? Right about here, yes. I shall be... as before, I would ask, keep an eye out for dangerous beasts as they work. Fascinating. These readings are not at all what I expected. Though perhaps that should come as no surprise. I'm not given to superstition, but there is a strange, almost blasphemous air hereabouts. Let us quit this place and return to Roots Lake. I have one more site to survey. As before, my guardian, pray leave me to my task and ensure our safety. This data should prove invaluable to... Oh, ye gods, what's that stench? Did you slaughter a creep of Adamantois while my back was turned? Quickly now, to Camp Tranquil. I will not have my clothing reek of blood and offal. Chose to paddle in the Ichor a while longer, I take it? No matter. I took advantage of my unexpected privacy and performed a cursory analysis of my data. It would appear that there has been a measurable decrease in Eorzea's ambient ether concentration since the calamity. However, this data is far from conclusive. We must take additional measurements to confirm my assessment. For our next survey, I would have you escort me to Lursbond. The ambient ether concentrations there are so high that crystalline structures form spontaneously. Consequently, anomalous fluctuations should be much easier to detect. Brilliant, yes? No, don't bother answering. That was rhetorical. Now, come along. I want to punch him. Is it wrong to punch him? Okay. You should be more than familiar with the procedures by now. Pray, find a suitable position from which to keep watch while I take measurements. Yes, quite high, yet still markedly lower than the historical measurements taken near the end of the 6th Actual Era. The presence of a primal account for the difference, or is there something else? Something else? Something else? Scion, come here. I need you. Winfried. Fear not, my friends. Help has arrived. Here you are, Kiara. Tori and I were worried when you and your charge had failed to return at the appointed hour. At the appointed hour. Scratches like a hole. Not 5 more, no. These wounds were made with the blade. It doesn't look like he put up much of a fight either. Carry a mark on his sword or his shield. I've heard nothing of the impressive brave operations in this area. What caused Hedwyn to come here? What should he do? We will see the scholar to the scholar's protection, Kiara. Aye. to the boy's remains. You should return to the Rising Stones. The incident will want to know what happened here. So do I. Wilfred. In the end, he is no more. For this, I will use this. It'll take me closer. We're going to be heading to Limsa Lamosa. And she's downstairs. How's your training going, Tataru? Kiara, what are you doing here? I didn't mean for her to worry. That's the last thing I wanted. Putting an end to such worries is precisely the reason I'm here. Don't you see? I, Tataru Taru, shall become a great and powerful Arcanist. And now, at Mistress Guildmaster's behest, I must go and complete a special training exercise. Until we meet again! apparently I had gotten rid of the stuff I'd had equipped for this class. Let's talk to her as an Arcanist herself. Ah, if it isn't Kiara, what brings you to the guild? So you're acquainted with our newest member. An Arcanist of your experience must see that her potential is somewhat lacking. Nevertheless, she would not be denied, and goes now to undertake her first trial. A simulated inspection of 3 crates. Doubtless you recall receiving similar training under Kalai's supervision. A thought occurs to me. Why not oversee Tataru's training yourself? Given your relationship with the girl and your familiarity with the task, I think you the ideal choice. You need only head to the cliffs south of the gate, as before, and observe at a distance. Or as the sea, or as her seas the pirates board, where she met her shining jewel. For to bring the smugglers went not, came the last who none could food. I'm not gonna sing the whole thing. Crates I spy? And this must be the true test. But we're ready for them, aren't we, Carbuncle? Carbuncle? Well, that happened. Ah, come back, Carbuncle! And she's gone. I should have known you'd come, Kiara. You needn't say a word. Your face says it all. I know you bore witness to my shame. Betrayed by my own Carbuncle, and left at the mercy of wild beasts. I must accept the truth. I'll never be a warrior like you or the others. I will inform the guild master of my intentions to withdraw from the guild. Arcanuma, like so much else, is beyond me. not an Arcanist material. Doesn't mean anything else. There's a choice of trying all the guilds. Back so soon? How fared our fledgling Arcanist? Abysmally, mistress. Abysmally, as Kiara will testify. It is wrong to become an Arcanist. Wrong as usual. I'm completely, utterly unqualified, and I sincerely apologize for wasting your time. Tataru, if that were true, I would not have permitted you to join us in the first place. We must all come to accept our limitations, lest our ambitions lead us astray. However, we must not lose sight of our strength in the process. For example, your exceptional skill with numbers helped you to gain a solid grasp on the fundamentals of Arcanuma. Were it not so, you would have struggled to even summon Carbuncle to your side. In my opinion, the Scions are truly fortunate to have such a capable and good-natured receptionist in their service. Would you not agree? Yeah, absolutely. You're too kind. Though I could not overcome this challenge, I shall take your words to heart and try not to be discouraged. As fetching as these garments are, I fear I shall never don them again. But I cannot go back to Rising Stones without something to show for my time away. Wait, I know what I can do. That is, if you don't mind accompanying me for a little longer. Wonderful! To Costa del Sol we go. It's a bit of a gamble, but I'm confident it'll pay off. Costa del Sol? Why there? What are you going to do? Yes, this is it. This is where the man at the drowning winch told me to look. She She has a beach outfit. There's a certain variety of clam which can be harvested this time of year. In Bloodshore, one which produces the most massive or marvelous pearls. However, these clams are also coveted by certain wild creatures, and since I fared rather poorly in battle last time, let us be off. The class. What fortune! I've already found one. Would you be so kind as to keep watch while I work? This should only take a moment. There we go. Well fought, Kiara. Well fought. I knew I was right to ask you to come. As for me, I have my prize. A bounty of blood pearls. So named for their reddish hue. They were treasured as wards against dark magics in ancient times. I thought I might make charms for everyone, so that no matter where they go, they will always come home. It's sort of the power to defend myself and other people, in a way, right? Well, I mustn't keep Flamon waiting. There's work to be done, and lots of it. We're to secure provisions for the scions of the Limosin markets, in the Limosin markets. She may have an eye for quality, but I have a nose for bargains. Will you be heading back to the Rising Stones? If so, pray convey my apologies to the Answerin, and tell her that she needn't worry about me. Farewell, Kiara, and thank you for everything. That sounded rather final, didn't it? How about until we meet again? Okay. Okay. Internet, Crowd, Corthus, Mordona, Okay, and we are in Mordona. Kira, you have returned, and you seem troubled. Did the rule of his escort chief you so? Oh, this is that one, okay. Well, we're dead. Mayhap murdered? By the 12, how can it be? How can that be? I will send word to Elphanot at once. He will want to conduct a full investigation and send word to Ulrid's family. Cons, he was just a boy. Who would do this? And why? Oh boy. Welcome home, Kiara. I gather you have found Tataru and Limsa Lamosa. My, it sounds as though she had quite an adventure. And while it did not end as she had hoped, I suspect it will prove an invaluable experience. I dare say she could have managed without our intervention. Even so, I appreciate you indulging in my request. I am sorry, Kara. No doubt you have other matters to attend to, and we've already imposed upon you so much. Pray, take some time for yourself. I dare say you have more than earned a respite. After all, we will be most busy with preparations as the banquet draws near. Should other adventurers summon you elsewhere, perhaps now is the time to heed their call. Okay, I'm going to have to do some Crystal Tower stuff. I'm not quite sure which one that might be. Do I have any... Go out to Mordona and Okay. Not that one. Ah, this one. Alright, I will be doing this off stream. I will do as much of it as I can. And hopefully by next week I will have unlocked the ability to progress the storyline. But for now, I hope you all have a wonderful time. I will be signing off, taking care of my dog, and contacting my relative about why they haven't come by to mow my yard. Once again, thank you for dropping by. Thank you for all that. And if you enjoyed my content, make sure to follow, hit the bell for notifications, and drop by Monday for more Code Vein. If you're watching this on YouTube instead of live, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Hit the bell for notifications, and if you enjoyed my content, check out this playlist where I play something else, or check out this video that YouTube thinks you will like if you didn't enjoy my content as much. Alright everyone, bye!